Hi, everybody. Welcome to Discover College Soccer. I am lucky enough to be joined by Coach Kernell from Fairmont State in West Virginia. Coach, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great, doing great.
Great. And no, we didn't plan this. I just happen to be wearing the same colors as Fairmont State. This is my daughter's club sweatshirt, but so it just works out. So if she goes to Fairmont, she can keep all her maroon gear.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, well, let's just jump right in and talk a little bit about how you do your recruiting there at Fairmont. So when do you start usually hearing from players, and when do you start looking at players? What year are they in high school?
Well, we have had players as early as that starting school in 2024 have been reaching out to us. But more so we are looking at the 2023s right now. This is actually my first full year coaching here at the college level, so it's been a great experience with the team. And yeah, we have had a lot of recruits reach out to us, but um, still talking to one or two. We have had 5 players committed for 22. Might bring in one or two more, but right now we are heavily looking into 2023s right now.
Okay. You talked about inbound contacts. How many inbound contacts do you usually get in a week or a month, do you think?
Yeah, it varies, right? At times they just come in. So I would say at least 30
Wow.
at the bare minimum. I would say I would get a week contacts from all over. You have kids from all over Europe, all over South America. You got kids here all over the United States. It's a lot. It's a lot of kids looking to go to college and to study and to play soccer.
So what do you like to see in that first communication from a recruit?
That's a very good question. I personally, I like the kids to be a little personable in terms of we have had recruits reach out and say, hey, I saw you guys playing the Mountain East Conference. You played Concord, which made it to the Elite Eight. You guys, something like that. You tie them, and it was a close game in the semifinal. You can tell the kids did the research. Some kids even go as far as watching some of the games online, and it really sparks your interest when the kids go to lengths to really tell you something about the school, and not only the soccer program, but also the academic piece as well. I'm looking to study nursing, so you have a great nursing program. All that stuff kind of like sparks my interest when a recruit really reach out and kind of mention some of those things too as well.
Makes sense. So, you said the amount of volume of inbound communications varies year by year or time of the year. And I'm assuming it picks up when you get closer to some tournament or showcase coming up. So
Oh, definitely.
what are those tournaments and showcases that you like to visit to scout players at? And do you also check out the high school games and stuff like that as well?
Yeah, well, a lot of the local players, a lot of the West Virginia players, one or two of the high school games. I've watched one or two of the high school games, but more so, the tournaments. If you want to reach a kid, you might have a kid from Arizona, because we recruited a kid from Arizona actually. Um, reach out to you, and one of the tournament was the NCFC showcase. Got to see her play there. She came up on a visit too as well. We were at the National League this past weekend here, and a lot of recruits reached out to us, and we had the opportunity to watch some of the recruits play. Obviously, tournaments like Jefferson Cup and Blue Chip Showcase, and some of those events are some of the big events that we target for recruiting players.
Okay. What about
Obviously, you have the Academy Showcase and the ECNL showcases too as well.
right? So how do camps fit into your recruiting process? Do you have your own ID camps? Do you and your staff work other schools' camps to help identify players?
Well, this year is going to be our first year to have our summer ID camp. And it's something we're inviting a lot of our interested recruits to come and attend those camps. I am possibly going to work one or two other camps too as well, where it will give me a chance to actually get to see some other recruits at probably 1 or 2 Division 1 schools, Division 2 schools and whatnot like that, just to have a chance to see players. It's a little bit more personable when you have a kid at a camp, as opposed to, you look at a kid play a tournament, you kind of get to see the kid train, see the kid interact with other players. It's outside of the game-like environment too. And then you get to see them in the game-like environment when you scrimmage too as well. So I think working camps is definitely a big piece in helping recruit.
Now, you said you had 5 or so players committed so far. Maybe you might bring in another 1 or 2. Do you have a set number that you really want to bring in every year, or is it just kind of ebb and flow with your graduating classes?
That's correct. Right now, it's like for us. Right now, we graduated 3 seniors. So we didn't really lose a whole lot. Most of our starting lineup, so to speak, stayed intact. And obviously, the starting lineup, it's not. I don't want to make people think that it's going to be the same as every year. But the majority of the girls who played major minutes are still a part of the program, so to speak. But we brought in 5 players, and all 5 players that we bring in are going to contend for playing time or for a starting spot. But we brought in 5, it would probably put us at about 26, 20, 29 around there, which is a solid number. We had quite a few injuries last year. Believe it or not, with 7, we had 26 players, and there were 1 or 2 games we had 17 because of the amount of injuries we had. It was sort of a kind of crazy with the number of injuries we had. So we kind of have to recruit a little bit more, brought in 1 or 2 more girls. So just in case, if we ever have to deal with injuries again, we can have solid numbers to compete. Playing twice a week and training, it can be a lot. So we need fresh legs to be ready to get in and out of the game.
Sure. What is the scholarship situation at your school? Obviously, you're Division 2, so you have some athletic money. But what would you say is the mix in terms of your players on academic and athletic money?
That's actually a very good question. I think a lot of kids should know. A lot of potential recruits should know that for us here at Fairmont State, I rely heavily on the academic piece. You want girls coming in who are academically inclined, with a good GPA, with a good ACT or SAT score, because obviously with you here we can stack, we can give academic and athletic scholarship, and the biggest piece is when you have a recruit who can come in and get full academic money. It's great. You can put some scholarship on that, and then it works out for both the player and for the university too as well. And also you want kids that are academically inclined, not just for scholarships too. Well, you want those kids to make sure that they're coming in and doing, first, the most important thing, they have to study. And you want to make sure that you're bringing in kids who would be on board with studying and playing soccer and being competitive in both.
Sure. Well, you mentioned academics being a nice aspect to target and recruit. What are some of the other things that you look for in a player, both on the field and off the field, in terms of your hierarchy of characteristics of players you want to bring into your program?
Well, you got to have definitely a personality. You got to have a great personality. You got to be able to be in work in a team setting, because again, it's a team sport. Mentally, you have to be tough, which is one of the biggest things. You're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna lose games. You're gonna win games. How are you gonna handle losing games? And I'll give you an example. This year we had a rough start. Me being my first year with the group and trying to figure them out. We were 2-6, and it could have went downhill from there. But we turned things around. We had individual meetings and say, look, we need to fight through this. We need to work through this. Losing 4 or 5 games in a row is not good. And we turn around the season completely. In our last 11 games, we won 6, lost 2, and tied 3. So we had a great second half of the season. And if our girls, if we weren't mentally tough and wanted to fight and work through it, the season could have gone the other direction easily.
Yeah, for sure.
We ended up 500, which was pretty good considering our start.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Especially for a first year with the program.
Yeah.
That's a nice
Yes.
nice to see that progress. So
Yeah.
the last question I have in terms of the recruiting side is how do transfers or walk-ons kind of fit into your mix?
Well, that's I'm actually talking to you've talked to a couple of kids from JUCOs, from junior college, and they got some pretty quality players. We those are one of the players we actually looking to sign still, but obviously it's grades. It comes down to if you transfer and you have to get that academic money, and then you can get some athletic money too as well. But with the transfer students, they would bring obviously they already been playing. So in the college environment, whether it's a junior college or another four-year university, some students they switch their major or they're looking for something different. So I've spoken to quite a few of those players, and if they are the right fit for our program, we would pursue them as well. But for the most part, they have the experience coming in, and obviously you want to make sure a lot of things you check out, a character, why you leaving,
Yeah.
was it because of playing time when you didn't fit into the coach's system, or what exactly was the issue? Obviously there's a reason why someone wanted to transfer, and sometimes for some kids it just doesn't work out for them and they are good players. So you got to give kids the benefit of the doubt. I transferred from St. Louis to West Virginia, so I know how that can be as a transfer student. So we definitely take the time to talk to the students who want to transfer and hear them out.
That's good. And sorry, one more other question around on your recruiting. You mentioned earlier getting a lot of inbound contacts from international students, and judging by your accent, you're not from West Virginia.
Right.
How do international students fit into your recruiting?
Well, we have quite a few international students. We have a few international students in our program. I it's tough in terms of you're going by a video or game tape and trying to watch, and you watching the level of the game. So it's very tricky because the international students, it's depends on where they're from. Scholarship money can play a big factor. So you really have to be picky and kind of choose, if you're going to sign an international student, and or if you're going to go with the American kids. They have a lot of talented players here in the U.S., I would say, though. And even me being an international student, a prior international student, but they have a lot of talent here in the U.S. So we kind of look here first, and then if it can't fill our needs, then look international. But I do believe they got a lot of quality here in the States,
No,
for especially for women's soccer as well.
for sure, for sure. Well, let's talk a little bit about your school. There's probably a lot of people out there who don't know of Fairmont State. I grew up in Ohio and drove
Right.
through West Virginia multiple times, so I'm aware. But tell us some things about the school that that I'm not going to find on the website. What's something awesome about your school, or some things
Well,
that you want people to know?
we have a nice little mix here. It's in a nice small campus. Well, I have, although the accent, I've been in West Virginia for about 22 years now. So I've lived more than half my life here now in West Virginia, right up the road, Morgantown. So Fairmont State is about 25 minutes from Morgantown, which it's nice and distant. Morgantown is a main city, main in here in West Virginia. And Fairmont, it's nice small campus we have here. It's a good environment. We have other competitive athletic teams. It's just once the student athlete come and visit here, it feels at home for most kids who want that small settling environment. I think we offer that. We have certain majors that a lot of students look at that are unique. We have criminal justice. We have, obviously, nursing is a big one. We have an architecture program too as well. So we have a little bit of a niche here where we do attract a lot of students who are wanting to get into those fields here at Fairmont State University.
Okay. Well, how do students at your school really balance that school and sport commitments on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I know for our soccer team, we are in a great situation in terms of our conference. We really don't have overnight games, so our players don't really miss any classes, which is a huge draw for our girls and the team and our athletes here. Most of our games are within an hour, hour and a half away.
Wow.
I think our furthest game was Concord and Notre Dame in Ohio. Since you're from Ohio, Notre Dame, out of Ohio there. But and for the most part, those games are on weekends. So during the week, it's we go to a game and head back. Our home games are at 7 o'clock at night, and our away games could be anywhere from 4 to 7, but we are back that same day. So our student athletes and our girls, they can balance. It's a good balance where they are not really missing classes, and they're having an opportunity to still complete classes, and we can still attend our games. So most times we don't really even leave early for a game per se. If it's a 7 o'clock game away, you leave 4 o'clock. It's an hour. So it's not like if they're missing classes or anything. So that's what is actually great playing in our conference. And it's a draw for a lot of our girls who come to Fairmont State to play too as well.
Sure. No, that is great. Well, what types of support mechanisms does the school offer for both on the academic side, and then do you have like strength and conditioning coaches, stuff like that on the athletic side? So yeah, what other support mechanisms are there?
Well, we do have a strength program here. It's a very good strength program here. It's full time for the student athletes. Our girls are really getting into it. We actually left during the season too as well, but obviously it is managed where it's structured where based on when we play, when we train, we lift light. I'm not the expert for that, but we have a great thing set up where it is managed based on how much some of the girls play too as well, and whatnot like that. So I'm pretty happy with our strength program here. It's been great for the girls, and with the academic piece, we study hall. We have
Go ahead.
Yeah, we have study hall set up for the players who, whatever subject area they need help in, which is we have a great support system here within the athletic department where they can reach out to tutors for whatever subjects they have. We actually have girls on our team that are actually tutors too as well for other kids within the university. Some of our girls are pretty smart. We had our overall team GPA was a 3.6, which is very good. It was one of the highest in our athletic department. I believe it was the highest in the athletic department. So yeah, we have a great structure set up here. Even within the team, we have girls who help others with classes within the team. We have a close-knit team like that, and some of the girls are academically they're pretty good.
No, that's awesome. So, you mentioned you don't have to travel far for away games, which is great. What would a typical non-game day look like for one of your players?
We have it depends on if it's after you're talking about like
during season. Like during the season, like a regular practice day, what's it going to look like from when they wake up to when they go to bed?
Yeah, well, when the kids wake up, obviously they go to classes. And obviously it depends on the student athlete, what class you're taking. But for the most part, most of the girls on a Monday, we would practice at, let's say we have a 4:30 p.m. practice. Most of the girls, yeah, most of our girls are typically classes. Let's say on a Monday, we are typical. All the players are typically done by 3 o'clock. We have a 4:30 practice. We go from 4:30 till about 6. And then after girls, if girls got to study, they go, they do their study halls, or whatever homework they have to do. Sometimes we would get like a little team dinner after as well, just to have a little kind of camaraderie within the team. And then on a Tuesday, it's the same thing. Tuesday, we typically practice at about Tuesday. We have a little bit of a later practice, like 6:30, because we share the field, obviously. And then Wednesday is game day, where if we have an away game, we would leave. We would for our away game. The girls will get out of class. We would grab some. We would get something to eat, order, have it here. We typically eat before the game, make sure the girls eat before the game because, as a college student, you have the cafeteria. We want to make sure we order, we know what the girls are eating before game day. We go to the game, travel to the game on charter bus. We fortunate we have great school, not the school buses, but it's chartered bus we use here at Fairmont State. Travel to the game. Typically, we get to the game like an hour and a half, 2 hours before sometimes. And then after games, girls get something to eat again, and then we head back to campus. So that's you get both of them
Mhm.
when we are not playing games and when we are playing games, how it's set up.
Okay, great. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the team and that sort of thing. How big is your soccer staff, coaching staff? What roles do they play, et cetera?
We have one assistant coach here. We actually hired another assistant coach, another coach this week here. So we're gonna have two myself and two others. Obviously, one of the biggest things, time consuming, is recruiting, looking at recruits, looking at videos, looking at games, breaking down games. That's really time consuming. So we want to make sure we get back to all the recruits as much as we can. Even if we don't feel like if they would fit the need of the program, you still want to reach out to them and say, hey, thanks for reaching out to the program, let them know our thoughts. And so we still want to do that because obviously we'd get around that if you're not getting back to recruits. So we make it our utmost best to get to all the recruits. And it's just different roles. You have a bunch of compliance stuff you need to work with, and just kind of dividing that and sharing it up between coaches to make sure you hit what you're supposed to hit and everything like that.
Yeah. Well, how would you describe your style of coaching and your team style of play?
Oh, we love to keep the ball. For me, I value technique. I'm very big on having technical players who are patient, players who definitely, as we say, have a soccer brain, who want to put the ball on and play, who are patient to build up from the back. We keep possession. That's the style we want to play, and we are always looking for players or trying to recruit players who can fit that style of play. Yes, obviously speed and speed is one. You can't beat speed. We want quick, fast players, but at the same time, we're looking for players who can actually put the ball on and play. At the end of the day, I tell all my players here, you're here for two things, right? To go to school, for the academic piece, and to play soccer. And it's my role as a coach to make that enjoyable for you. After you're done with classes and you come on the soccer field, this should be a relief from classes. This should be okay. This is what I want to do. If you're dreading practices and don't want to be here, then something is not adding up. So we want to make sure we create an environment where the players want to come to train, they want to come to practice, they want to play, they want to embrace the style that we have here at Fairmont State. And the girls are coming along pretty well. We have had lots of flashes where we have played quality soccer.
That's great. That's great. Well, you and I, we're talking, it's February, it's the off season. So what does your off season program look like?
Good question. Off season, it's actually we train 3 times a week right now. Off season, we go twice a week. On a Monday, we go at 6:15 in the morning. On a Wednesday, we go at 6:15, and we go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And on a Friday, we go at 3 o'clock. Um, Technical stuff, we focus heavily on the technical bits. We do some fitness too as well, and our girls are also lifting weight training program. We do some fitness too as well, but for me, a lot of technical stuff, a lot of small-sided games, because obviously it's winter time and the space. So a lot of small-sided games, a lot of touching the ball, and we play a lot. I believe that's where you get the touches. This is where players can, try things, and you might, in the spring games we have coming up, try a play in a different position, to just do little tweaks within the team, because it's the spring, you're preparing for the fall. So it's a great opportunity to work on a lot of technical stuff and to move around some players and give players different opportunities, playing different positions, playing players more who haven't played a lot in the fall, just making it fair for everyone where they can come out and just kind of show what they have in the spring.
Okay, great. Well, last question for you. This is kind of your chance to tell me what I've missed. So what is there that you want, are there any players, parents, prospects to know about your school, your team that we haven't covered so far?
Well, our goal and our desire is to win a championship just like anyone else, but I do feel that we have the ability to do so. And more so, if you look at West Virginia, for some reason we have had a lot of top programs here with WVU and the women's and the men's side, Marshall, Concord, all these other schools here. So we feel that we can be one of those schools too as well, here in the state of West Virginia. And I really do feel we have some of the student athletes here to take us at the next level. So that's our goal. So if you're looking for a championship program, upcoming one, it's right here at Fairmont State.
Awesome.
And even you believe in that too, because you got our colors on right
That's
now.
right. That's right. That's right. I'll have to just change the logo, but that's all right.
Yeah, but it's for us, it's a great atmosphere here. Good school, nice small campus. Most who come to the campus, like the campus. And obviously we have some great academic program here as well. And our soccer program is going to be one to contend with.
Awesome. Well, Coach, I appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us. We wish you the best of luck in the upcoming season, and hope you get one step closer to that championship.
Yes, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.